My name is Kathryn Lovewell. I teach mindful self-compassion. I'm an author and a teacher of empowering skills to help people be kinder to themselves and to take stock of their inner critic and to tend to that critical voice. I'm a very proud mum of 3 boys, 2 of my own birth boys and 1 stepson. And they are 25 and 24 and 24. And they're incredible inspiration and the loves of my life. I'm married to lovely Liz, which happened only a few months ago, even though we've been together nearly 20 years. So that was pretty a big step out into the world of owning who I am and who we are. I'm on a mission to help children. So just before I met you, we had just sold our house. And part of that decision was that we couldn't continue living in our own home unless we had lodgers, because we were constantly struggling. I've had some health issues all my life. And most of my earnings were going into trying to get better and different protocols and different, medicines and all sorts of treatments. And we were just on that treadmill of playing the 0% credit card, to be perfectly honest. And it was a living hell. Liz and I got together and we arrived together with nothing apart from we were blessed to be able to get a mortgage, an interest-only mortgage, and we had a home that our boys could be in and a garden, and that was really, really important for us. And so when it came to my business, Liz encouraged me to continue. I've got therapeutic background skills. I've been a secondary school teacher. I've taught in prisons, and it was still really quite piecemeal. And I didn't have any confidence around being a businesswoman. I had the mentality that I was just a teacher, and from the religious sort of dogmatic entrainment, very hard to ask for money for the therapeutic work I did. Really, really struggled to put price on what I did. And it was only when I was invited to work with some colleagues to go and work in Harley Street that I was forced into a set of income that's what we charge, and therefore suddenly, I started to learn my worth. But it's been a massive struggle, a continual struggle, and to find the right recipe. What you've helped me recognize is that my business was very much focused on impact and not on income, and I need both. I was brought up to never be in debt, ever. Debt was like the biggest failure. So definitely for almost the last 2 decades, I've just felt like a hideous failure. Doesn't matter if you've got a best-selling book, I'm a failure because I haven't got the money to prove I have succeeded. That's how society measures it. And yet I didn't have the mindset, the skills to really go after the money, because even going after the money, I felt dirty and bad. Well, it was a gradual progression. It started with Liz's dad getting sick out of nowhere, and he had 11 months in ICU. And Liz had to go to New Zealand and backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And I watched at that point this hideous struggle and pain and suffering, and it wasn't expected, and also the impact it had on Liz. And I was obviously on the other side of the world, couldn't help, which is my raison d'etre. So that was the starting point, and that was the promise I made to myself that when she got back, I would ask her to marry me. And I thought, why are we waiting? What are we waiting for? And that energy of what are we waiting for really happened. We said we'd wait for the boys to all be grown up and independent. They were before COVID hit. And then, of course, we got engaged, and then COVID hit, and everything we had to, all our in-person programs then had to become online programs, which was Liz's dream anyway. So there was lots of silver linings, but that was the starting point. And then there was this progression of different things. Having lodgers in our home during COVID was really, really hard. Really hard. We're trying to save our business, and a couple of them were just laying around doing nothing, complaining they were bored. So there was these things. And then eventually Liz's son came over to Europe. In 5 weeks, we're like, let's get married. Let's do it now. All 3 boys are in the same place. And from November of last year, there was this shift. And I couldn't really put a name on exactly what it is. It's like, what are we waiting for? We can do anything we want to do. We don't have to do this anymore. And we hadn't planned to sell. Then 4 attempts to move house fell through. Our sale didn't. And at that point I said, Liz, we're getting a clear message. We are not meant to move there. Something bigger, the universe is guiding us somewhere else. And that's when I saw one of your intros. And the rest is history. I'm a new woman. And so I think the biggest first step was to meet the humiliation, the shame, the terror, so it's no more hiding. No, I'm not buying any of those stories anymore. I just haven't been an educated woman. I do have a lot of shame around it. I'm desperately ashamed of my financial situation, and I know I can change it, but I need to change my mindset first. And I had no idea that you would pluck out of me all of these new ways of thinking when I thought I'd done a pretty darn lot of work of self-development, but not really in the area of money and what I made it mean. I mean, that net worth and self-worth equation, that uncoupling that, I'm still on the path, but that has ruled my life. It's really hard to believe that you're not enough because your bank balance isn't what it should be in your 50s. Yeah. You know, I had never heard of an index tracker. I didn't know they existed. I thought there was just a bank that you put your savings in a better investment pot that had a better interest rate. That was my knowledge. That was like, that's wise, investing. Watching the market mashups, my eyeballs start to pop for a bit, and I think, am I understanding what Nick is saying right now? I'm not sure I'm following that graph. But it's this intention of, actually, this is who I'm becoming. And I didn't know all of those words I used at the beginning, a few months ago. I think it's the key is the self-responsibility. I'm not waiting for someone else to sort out the spreadsheet or to make the phone call to the bank. I'm doing that. So I feel so self-empowered, and it feels so self-respecting that I'm taking charge of it. The biggest thing is that I believe that I can generate income in a way that I never really believed, and that I can not just survive and pay the bills. I have a much bigger picture. I've always had a big vision about creating a children's foundation and having a global mission to ensure that every human being is kind to themselves, no matter what's happening in their life, that they can be compassionate. And now I feel that I'm learning to become smarter and not work harder, that I can actually walk my talk in a fully congruous manner, and that I one day see myself talking to investors, talking to, organizations that may want to invest in this work or contribute in some way, whether it's financial or otherwise. And I'm learning to stand tall and be able to have the language, the solidity within myself to have a conversation without feeling like this pathetic little girl that doesn't do the money thing and doesn't talk numbers. She's gone. I'd asked the universe for a mentor several years ago. It's like, please show me the person, give me the person that will guide me in a way that will be in alignment with my values and get me grounded into financial success. And by golly, my prayers have been answered. Oh my gosh. I've been given this gift, this woman called the Wealth Chef, who's a little bit balmy and talks about shits and bits and is not afraid to call stuff out and talk about the heart and lead with such heart-centered affection, and be able to be grounded and say, no, you need to change that. Your wealth pie's out of balance. I mean, that is a rare thing. You are a rare, magical creature on the planet, Anne. And I will sing your praises for the rest of my life, because you have changed. You have really changed my life. And I know I'm just beginning. I'm still a learner. I've got a lot of monsters to clear, but oh my God, who thought it was possible, Anne? It's possible. And you show ordinary women like me that it's possible. And no matter where we start, it's possible. We can change it. And we can respect ourselves again. No matter, because I tried bloody hard to succeed and I couldn't do it. And this was all because I was afraid of what it might mean if I become wealthy. Really, that's really what it was. What does it really mean if I become wealthy? Will I become this horrible person? Will I become spoiled and ungrateful? And, gratitude is one of my highest values. And you show us that we can balance it all. We can live a juicy life. We can embrace life and give ourselves something, pay ourselves first on so many levels, and be grounded in making sure that we're consistent and that we do the boring shit that needs to get done on a frickin' spreadsheet. And it's possible. It's possible. So thank you. Thank you so much, Anne.